Hey, how are we all doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mills, a Read with Mills, and today I'm going to go through some of my most anticipated releases for 2026, like the ones that I am on the edge of my seat ready to read, because you might not have them on your radar, and you might have time to read book one if there's a book one, or if you didn't know it was coming out, you've got time to get this on your TBR and get planned. Sorry that we didn't have a video last Sunday. I had a little bit of a tummy bug, but we are all back, all fine, and ready to dive in. So let's go. So my first most anticipated read follows on from Shields as Sparrows, and this is Rights of Starling, which is the second in the series, and it comes out on the 7th of April. Now this year I had a little bit of a bad moment with Devney Perry. I was not a fan of Bluebird Gold, so now I'm a little bit nervous that the second book may not hit as well as the first book, but I loved the first book. You follow this girl called Odessa. She's lived in a world where everybody's told her what to do, dyed her hair, made her act a certain way, made her behave a certain way, and she just wants to be herself. Like, she just wants to make some decisions for herself. She ends up getting forced into this marriage of a king and taken to a new land, and that's where the story was kind of left off, in this like massive plot twist situation. We were left on tenterhooks. Like, honestly, the way that this book left me, I was like, oh, I need book 2 straight away. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. I don't know if anything's been announced officially yet. But yeah, Rights of the Starling is coming out on the 7th of April. And as soon as it turns up, you know I'm going to read it. I have this problem though with fantasy. I don't know if you guys are the same as me. Love the first book. And then the second book comes out and I'm like, do I dive in yet? Do I not? Hence the Wolf King I read. The Night Prince is still sitting on my TBR. I know I'm bad. I'm really bad. It will get read this month. It will. I promise. Then the next book I'm really excited for coming out is actually a fantasy romance debut novel from this author, and it's called Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter, and this one comes out on the 7th of May. I've seen people with proofs of this. You've probably seen it's like the red and blue on the front cover. I'm pretty sure Harper Voyager are publishing this, and I've been jealous because I've seen a lot of people cry at their proof. So it says the deadly competition begins in 2026. You cannot forfeit, you cannot run, you duel or you die. We know I love anything Hunger Games style, anything battle style. Lock them in an arena, lock them in a tournament, lock them in a challenge. I'm going to be there. So Astrid, I love the name, has always known she's destined to die. She is the last Nastrestan witch. And there's magic, and heir to the queendom of Vatura, cursed to duel her rival from the kingdom of Vatara for the source of all magic. She only has her familiar, her potions, and her wits to aid her. Her opponent is Prince Zyron, and has a massive hell-damned dragon. She's going to die, and the chance to cure the blight ravaging her queendom will die with her. It says it's set against a once-in-a-generation duel to the death between witches and dragons. I love that! And it's an epic romantic fantasy that will grab hold of your heart and leave you breathless. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people crying at this. Again, it's called The Cursed Covenant, the series, so I imagine there's going to be more than one book, but because we haven't got the first book till May, we don't know when the next one's coming out. But this one has been top of my TBR probably since December when I saw someone with a proof. I have proof jealousy. I get a lot of proof, so I shouldn't have proof jealousy. But if I see someone with a proof and I see them reacting to it and enjoying it, I'm like, me, I would like one, please. And then it ends up just being on my TBR. Hence, I think Shield of Sparrows was that situation. The next one I want to talk about is Game On by Nerissa Allen. So obviously we've had Lights Out and we've had Caught Up. Game On comes out on the 31st of March and it's Stella and Tyler's story. I loved Lights Out because it was the humour, dark, funny. Caught Up was good, but it just didn't have the humour that Lights Out had. So I'm really hoping that with Game On we go back to that humour. It says the tropes are enemies to lovers, forced proximity, fake dating. I love a little bit of fake dating. A black cat, FMC, a morally grey MMC, blackmail, kidnapping, age gap, and revenge. So I think it's going to be good. I'm just hoping Nerissa Allen goes back to the comedy that we saw in Lights Out. Don't get me wrong, I still loved Caught Up, but they felt like very different books. Maybe she'll go over even different vibe for the third one. Maybe she'll throw it really out there. But the comedy that we had in this is kind of like that Bryn Weaver comedy. You don't get it very often in dark romance. I feel like they don't take themselves seriously when they do the comedy, but it's so good. We love it. Then I feel like the next one is so obvious. I think if you've followed me or watched my lives, you know my obsession with Silver Elite by Danny Francis. There's this whole like drama about, is Danny Francis a pen name? And I'm going to be honest, I do not care, because this book is Elite. This is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Broken Dove comes out on the 12th of May. I've seen people this week with proofs who obviously had a Silver Elite proof, their quotes are on it, and I'm jelly. Like, I am jelly on a plate. I absolutely devoured this. If you don't know this about me, my favourite, like, comfort genre is probably dystopian. I was brought up in the era of Hunger Games. Like, I read Shadowhunters, I read Divergent, I read Maze Runner, you name it, I probably read it. And Twilight, dystopian, all of that dystopian world. I absolutely love a dystopian setting. This book following Ren was military, mixed with dystopian, mixed with the plot twist of all plot twist ending, that I am feral for book 2. I actually haven't reread this because I don't think I need to. Like, I think I could tell you the whole story, word for word from start to finish, because that's how much it has engraved in my brain. Like, I am obsessed with this book. I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the dystopian technology and terms and world that they lived in. Like, everything about this was perfection. This was an infinity read for me. I can't even say it was a 5-star read. It was an infinity read. And I've seen people have already finished Broken Dove, which of course, like, if that proof turns up to me, you know it's getting devoured straight away the day it turns up. And they have said it's as good, if not better, than the first book. And I'm like, really? That fills me with so much excitement. So yeah, that's the 12th of May. This is probably my biggest anticipated read. This is the one I'm like absolutely feral for. Then we have the 6th book in the Kings of Sin series. I was like, what's the series called? Kings of Sin, because they're 7 deadly sins. Come on, Mills, turn your brain on. And it's called King of Gluttony, and it comes out on the 28th of April. I was like, what is this book called? Sins. There are 7 deadly sins. So we're nearly the end of this series. I think next year we get the final one. So we're building up to the end. So obviously you've got 5 books already out to read if you haven't read this series. It's actually my favourite Ana Huang series. I feel like she does darker romance in this. So this one says, she's his greatest rival and his greatest weakness. Handsome, talented, and beloved by almost everyone, Sebastian Laurent is used to being on top. The heir to a culinary empire, his sharp instincts and effortless charm have made him a legend. What people don't see are the demons lurking beneath his golden boy facade. There's only one person who comes close to knowing the real him, Maya Singh, his childhood rival and secret obsession. She's also the only one who's ever successfully challenged him. He can't stand her, but if that's true, why can't he stop thinking about her? I love that. I kind of like that. They've known each other, they haven't got all along, they're going to be put in a situation together. Will it work, will it not? Time will tell. I think that's going to be such a good one. I still don't think it's going to beat King of Envy for me, because Vuk is just a character untoward himself. Like, if you don't want to read a whole 7-book series, I think you should just read King of Envy and be happy that that is such an amazing book. But yeah, I'm really excited for book 6. There's a lot I realise coming out in April and May. Then the next one comes out on the 11th of June, and I didn't realise this was only a duology. So we've read Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder, which is the first in the Fire and Metal series. I didn't know Light Wielder was going to be the conclusion to it. That's so exciting. I'm actually going to be completing a romantasy series in 2026. Like, it's unheard of for me to actually finish a romantasy series, because there's always like 5 books. We're 3 books deep. We've got about 7 years to go. This always happens to me. But yeah, this book is about a girl. She lives on an island. On the island that she lives on, there's like a food shortage. Once a year they go and trade with the mainland. The reason they put on islands is because they've kind of been exiled. And this girl potentially starts chaos unraveling by one small mistake. And the plot twist of all plot twists, I'm going to say it, the plot twist that broke the internet, this plot twist I didn't see coming. I found this recently. I've read a few books recently where I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to spot it. I think Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. I thought I was going to spot the plot twist. I did. And then they just throw an extra one on top that I've never seen before. This is that vibe. You think you know where it's going. You think you know the story. You think you understand things. Like, I guessed what I thought was the big plot twist and was like, gotcha, Rachel Snyder. Everyone's talking about this breaking the internet. I guessed it, and then my jaw hit the floor. Like, full on, smash bang off the floor. I was shooketh. So yeah, I'm actually really excited this is going to be a duology. I love a duology. I want to do like 2 books or 7. I don't want to do in between. I feel like when it's with fantasy, when you often get through with fantasy, the second one is so dead. So dead. So I'm really excited that this is a duology. And this, like I said, is the 11th of June. So on the 11th of June, I will have completed a series. It's unheard of with me. This one I've already read, but it needs to be on your TBR because it was perfection. And this is Across the Vanishing Skies. It's the first in the Starlight Grove series. I believe there's going to be 5 books in total in this series that follow the rest of Dexter's brothers, because he's got 4 brothers. Wow. This book, if you haven't seen my vlog reading it, there's no spoilers, but you can see how much I cry at this book. This book is amazing. I could not put it down. It follows a woman whose best friend went missing on a trail walk, and she knows she's been taken. Like, she knows that her best friend didn't just fall in the river or didn't just walk herself off. Like, she knows something's gone wrong. And they've kind of stopped looking into it. They've said to her, it's a cold case. We're not going to find her. She's floating in a river. She's probably been eaten by a bear. Move on. And she's like, move on? Move on? You're telling me to move on. There's no way I'm leaving my friend and moving on. So she moves to a small town and tries to get involved with the police. And that's where she meets Dex. And their story is beautiful. I don't even think you can call it Grumpy Sunshine, because, like, Grumpy determined? I don't even know if I can call her Sunshine. She is just a firecracker. But yeah, I absolutely adored this. Like, Brayden is such a good character. And there's animals, and I cannot wait for the rest of the series. This book broke me, but in the best way possible. So yeah, I think it's the 3rd of March that this comes out. So if you haven't got this on your TBR. And I've seen loads of people saying you need to read the Sparrow Falls series before you read this. No, you don't. It's not related to it at all. It's a completely different series. It's just that Evermore have also published a Sparrow Falls series. But yeah, I keep seeing that narrative online, and I'm like, no. I've read the Sparrow Falls series. I've read this. Not related at all. So the next one we have is Taurus Season by Brynne Weaver. Is already out, of course. We have Harvest Season, which is the 2nd book in the series, and this comes out on the 9th of June. I think I'm going to have such a good spring and summer. I've realised, like, some of my favourite authors are releasing books in April, May and June, which is like spring and summer together. So this fills me with so much excitement. So this was Harper and Nolan's story. This continues in book 2. In book 1, Harper literally removes people from the world. Like, she lives in this town, and if tourists are getting on her nerves, she's like, bye, see you later, and lets them compost under her plants. And Nolan kind of thinks like she is the devil reincarnated. He's going to remove her from the world, and he realizes maybe she's not as evil as she is. So I'm really excited. I believe this is a trilogy. I believe this is going to be a trilogy. It's Brynne Weaver, so it probably is. She does like to write a trilogy. And obviously we've got book 2 coming out in June, and if you haven't read her Ruinous Love trilogy as well, they do slightly link together, so I would recommend reading that. But yeah, absolutely devoured this. Cannot wait for Harvest Season. And Harvest Season's cover is like a purple-pink colour with a little bit of red. Like, it's hard to describe. I'll put it up on the screen, but it is stunning. This one actually surprises me, because I didn't think I was going to have this on my anticipated reads for 2026, because I left 2025 thinking, I'm never going to pick this series back up. And that is the Viper series. We've had Beautiful Venom and we've had Sweet Venom. I had to dive back into this book, ended up being a 5-star read. This book was great. And then the next one in the series, let me just check the date, I put the tablet on the floor, is Tempting Venom, and it comes out on the 30th of June, and that is Preston and Marcus's story. So in each book you follow a couple along a similar timeline, and then they diverge to give you like the finality of their story. The whole reason this series exists is because a girl's foster sibling has been knocked into a coma, and she wants to know why, and she gets involved with a secret society. And this secret society at the college is filled with ice hockey players. And then obviously each book follows the stories from the 3 ice hockey players' timeline and their kind of setting. I'm really nervous with book 3 because I know the big thing that happens in it, and it broke me in book 2. Like, in book 2, absolutely destroyed me, and we know each time you read one, so it's not the same storyline, you get a little bit more added each time. I'm scared, but yeah, I didn't think this was going to be on my anticipated reads. I thought I had left Beautiful Venom in 2025. I was like, I'm not going to touch this again, I'm not going to read this series, and I'm about to complete the series, which is crazy, but I'm so glad I went back and tried. This is why I started the Let's Try Again series, because I am wrong. I am often wrong. I will hold my hands up and say I'm often wrong, and my goodness was I wrong with this. Probably most known for talking about dark romance or probably romantasy on the internet. Like, they're probably the 2 categories I talk the most about. But I am a sucker for a Lynn Paintner book, and we have a new one coming out on the 21st of May called First and Forever, and it's like a rom-com style romance. Now, she writes romance that has mainly closed door spice. Mainly, you could probably put them in the YA category, and I don't think I'm a big like YA romance reader. I don't think I'm a big rom-com reader, I'm going to be honest. But there is something about Lynn Paintner that I just love her writing style, and I'm always drawn in. Is it going to end up being a 5-star read for me? No, probably not. But it's like a nice comfort read. And in May, We're not doing May Madnesses yet. I feel like it's going to be so good. So it says Duffy loves three things: her dad, her cat, and Minneapolis Coyotes football. But when she shoves the team's mascot for getting too flirty, the moment goes viral, and she's suddenly the internet's villain. Hoping to clear her name, Duffy agrees to a live interview only to face off with the Coyote star's tight end, Connor Cunningham. Their fiery banter has viewers obsessed, and in a PR opportunity too good to miss, Connor is pushed to ask Duffy out. The catch: Duffy doesn't know the date is real. Oh, despite his distaste for PR stunts, Connor soon finds that being with Duffy is easy, and the romance starts to feel real for him too. Keeping this secret is sure to blow up in his face. So yeah, I've got it as an advanced copy somewhere. I cannot wait to dive into this. I will be reading this obviously before publication date, but I'm hoping I'll save it. I'm going to try and save it for the month of May and read it then. But yeah, I love Lynn Painter. If you haven't read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, you need to, because that book, chef's kiss. Then we have the first of a new duology coming out on the 16th of April. It's called West of Wicked. The duology is The Great and Terrible Land. This is by Nikki St. Crow, who wrote the Lost Boys series, which is like a Peter Pan, really dark, really spicy retelling. So the fact she's going for Wizard of Oz is so exciting. I'm actually on a book tour with Pam Macmillan for this, and I am extremely excited. So no one is safe on the Yellow Brick Road. Dorothy Gale doesn't know where she came from. At the age of 5, she was dropped on Em and Henry's doorstep when a terrible storm rolled across the Kansas prairie. Now as an adult, Dorothy has made the most of her life on the farm. But when a cyclone tears through the night, ripping her and her dog and the farmhouse away, Dorothy wakes to find herself far from home in the strange, cursed land of Oz. Desperate to find her way back, she takes the advice of the Witch of the North and sets off on the Yellow Brick Road to find a wizard, with a warning to avoid forest monsters, heartless mercenaries, and wicked witches. It isn't long before Dorothy encounters the dark side of Oz. So it says it's got like forbidden love, journey of self-discovery, hidden identity, and witchy. I'm really excited for this. I know it's going to be a duology, which I'm okay with. I wonder how many pages. Oh, 320 pages. That's quite long for Nikki St. Crow, because her Ruthless Boy series, if you add the 4 books up, you've probably got about 500 pages there. I'm actually really excited for this. So yeah, that one comes out on the 16th of April, and I will be doing a post on my page, on my TikTok page for it, because obviously I'm part of a book tour. But yeah, I'm really excited for that one. I really like Nikki St. Crow's writing, and I feel like this one has been advertised a lot for a while, so it's been an anticipated read for me. Of course, is a video of mine about talking about Paisley Hope. We have the final book in the Soldiers of Bedlam series coming out, and it is called Fox, with an extra X, extra spicy, I'm hoping for. And this one comes out on the 14th of July. Aidan Fox runs the Disciplines of Sin motorcycle club with strict control and zero tolerance for weakness. A former Navy SEAL turned outlaw king, he lives by one rule. He lives by one rule. Can't talk today. Trust no one. Then Maya Tyler walks into his bar. Platinum hair, ocean eyes, and a body that tempts him to break every vow he's ever made. Fox knows Maya's dangerous. He knows she's hiding something. But when suspicion collides with desire, resisting her becomes impossible, even after he discovers she's a rival with her own deadly agenda. When war ignites, Fox must decide, is she the enemy who could destroy him, or the only woman who might save him? So yeah, I'm really sad that the Soldiers of Bedlam series is finishing, because I absolutely love this by Paisley Hope. But we hopefully get some more dark romance from her coming out after this one, because we're about to conclude her Silver Pine series as well. Chasing the Fire. I'll put that on the screen as well. That's the 5th one coming out. And then we're about to finish this. So like this year we will have finished 2 of her series. That makes me sad. That makes me really sad. So yeah, Fox, I am ready for. I loved Wolf and Dove. They're behind me there. I loved Wolf and Dove. Absolutely devour them. So if you haven't read them, they need to be on your TBR. Then we have a book that I've already read called Hit or Miss by Elle Kelk. This comes out on the 4th of June, sorry. I was about to say the 9th of June. I was about to delay you there, but it is the 4th of June. And this is Ethan and Mia's story. Okay, so if you didn't know, Elle Kelk is the pen name for Lindsay Kelk. So she said, this book's going to be spicier. So I've put it under a pen name because she does normally write closed-door YA rom-com romance. Would I say it's the spiciest book I've ever read? No. It's definitely not. I love that she's changed her name to just literally put a little bit of like pickle showing and a little bit of spice, but it's not going into so much detail. So I still think like it's appropriate. Is it appropriate in the YA category? Do you know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore. It's new adult. I'd class it as new adult. It is one of the best romances I've ever read. I just love Lindsay Kelk's writing style. So you've got these two American people, Mia and Ethan, and they both end up in this English university doing a year abroad. Mia has left her university because everyone was calling her the librarian and slightly bullying her, and she skipped a grade and she's never really fitted in. Whereas Ethan had a tragic accident that not anyone knows about apart from a couple of people in America, so he left for a fresh start. They went to the same university, obviously in America, and he doesn't really know her that well. They are they're in this like roommate situation. So obviously you have rooms off a main common room. They have mixed gender situations going on there, which is very unusual for a university in England, but allows the forced proximity to take place. So I can see why it happens. Mia starts to date this guy called Oliver. And she's thinking, oh gosh, this is perfect. I've moved to England. I've met a guy who plays in a band. He's really good at English. Like, he seems nice, and it potentially all goes wrong. But at the same time, Ethan's just always there in the background. It was so good. It turned up, I want to say it turned up on Monday. I had read it by the lunchtime on Tuesday. Could not put it down. Could not stop thinking about it. Was it the spiciest thing I've ever read? No. Would I have changed my name for it? No, I wouldn't have. I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't have done a pen name. I don't think it needs one. But I devoured it. So when that one comes out, you definitely need to read it. It's the first in a series. She's put what the type of the next book is. But I don't want to spoil it and say in case it's not released yet. Because sometimes with proofs, we get told things in the back of a proof. And I don't know if you remember when Kiss the Villain came out, the proof of that said, by the way, this isn't Legacy's book 7. We are creating a new series called the Villain series. And people post about it, and Rena Kent went crazy because she said everyone's spoiling it. Don't put it in the back of a proof if you don't want people to know, is the answer. So therefore, I normally keep zipped about what I know on the back of my proof. But yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for that book to come out. So that brings us to the end of Mills's most anticipated reads of 2026. I've probably missed loads. There's definitely going to be a part 2 of this because more books get announced day by day. If there's anything that you think, Mills, I cannot believe you haven't mentioned this, let me know ASAP because I need to rectify that situation. But yeah, I'm really excited for some of the books coming out. A lot of romantices where I'm going to get the second book in my hand, which just fills me with so much joy. Make sure you've hit subscribe and turned on notifications so that you're notified when I post in the future. I do post every Sunday, and then sometimes you get a little vloggy vlog during the week if I've had the time to, especially with the Let's Try Again series. I'm hoping B.K. Borison is my next author, I'm hoping. Especially with the announcement that First Time Caller, which is the one I picked up, is being turned into a movie. So we'll see if I like it. Let's try it again. And I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye, my book lovelies.